Well, you've probably seen them flying around town, the airlife helicopters that truly do some life-saving work. Now, some of you might remember, back in 1997, one of their helicopters crashed, and the mission to remember those who died is still strong today with a big event coming up. Joining me now is Nicole Gelhaus, a flight nurse with airlife. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you, Dominic, so much for having me.
So for those who don't remember, or for who weren't even born, what happened in 1997?
So in December 14th of 1997, it was just a normal day at airlife Denver. They had gotten called for a scene response. Multiple vehicles involved, multiple personnel involved on that day. And it was in Littleton. And so as the crew was flying over, they did a high recon and a low recon, and then were safely able to land in between two fire trucks that were there that day. And they were able to load the patient who was severely injured in the motor vehicle accident and loaded him into the helicopter. It was a little heavy having a pilot. They had Pete, Beth, and Leslie on that helicopter that day. And as they lifted up, the pilot did an in-ground effect and took off. And as he took off, they did not see the power lines that were right across the South Platte River and ended up hitting those wires. And pretty much everybody deceased at impact with that.
So the group, Friends of Airlife, putting on some great charity events to remember those who died and then raise some money for some great causes. Tell us about the events that are coming up.
So yeah, shortly after that in 1998, Littleton Fire, which is now South Metro Fire, and airlife Denver got together and created a nonprofit called Friends of Airlife. We wanted to bring work family and community family together and show our appreciation for those who have fallen in the line of duty. So this is a big day that we get together, bring our work families and home families together. We have a 5K, 10K memorial run and a walk, and then we have a kids run that's a lot of fun. And then we usually have a lot of kids events like a bounce house and face painting that just bring everybody together in that community.
That is so great that after all these years you guys keep that going. The money that's raised, what does that go towards?
So the money that's raised puts on this event, but it also goes for people who are fallen in the line of duty to help their families with any type of burials. And then it also goes on for first responder EMS education as well that we put on for those days. And then we also have a Jim Ulrich scholarship that we give out each year.
So Nicole, you're a flight nurse. I mean, what is that like, and how'd you get into that?
Truly, this is the best job that I've ever had, working as a flight nurse for airlife Denver. When I was a bedside nurse, seeing nurses come and take the most critical patients that I've ever seen and put them in a helicopter and fly them to another facility, I was just in awe and wow. And I was like, I want to do that someday. And that steered that journey for me to become a flight nurse. And every day is different. We transport kids that are 5 kilos all the way up to if we can, get you into the helicopter and close the door. So it makes it very interesting and keeps us on our toes a lot. And I truly enjoy this.
I'll bet. Are you from Colorado? Were you around for that 1997 incident?
I was not. Actually, I'm born and raised in South Dakota.
Okay.
And so when I first started with airlife Denver last year in February is when I learned about this event and take it to heart. Every vehicle that we have has 3 stars on it, and it represents Pete, Beth, and Leslie. And so every time we do a mission, we do a complete walk around of every vehicle. And so we take time to look at those stars and remember why we are so safety forward and why we take those precautions. And I was like, this is what I'm passionate about, and I want to make this important. And that's how I got involved with Friends of Airlife.
Well, Nicole, thank you for your time today. Thank you for what you do, and thank you for keeping their memory alive. We appreciate it.
Yes, thank you, Dominic, so much for this time and letting us explain to the world why we do what we do.
Great talking to you. And if you're interested in those events on May 7th, we have all the info at cbsdenver.com.